Hello students, you must have heard of one word, that is environment, right? So what do you mean by environment? We are very familiar to this word, right? But what do you actually an environment means? Environment we can feel by seeing. That means we can see rivers, streams, waterfalls, trees, flowers, snakes, some birds, insects, soil and light. So many things around us we called as environment. This is our environment. Okay, so this environment have diversity, means a very special feature. Diversity means we are not living in same way. Different range of different things have. So this is why I am saying about environment diversity means today I am going to give some introduction about your first chapter, living world. Living world means what are the, we are living in one particular area, surrounding us we called as living world. What we have, okay, wherever we are living, what our surrounding contains, around us what have, we will learn about that today. Okay, so before going to lesson, you want to know some important topics in belongs to this living world lesson. Okay, so one is identifying of living and non-living things. Means you should understand, suppose this is a marker is a living thing or non-living thing, you have to identify. Okay, plant, humans, living thing or non-living thing, you have to identify. How will you identify? Means living things contain some particular characteristics. Okay, so characteristics of living things, if you know characteristic, the characters which depending on some certain characters we can differentiate this is living thing or this is a non-living thing, such as growth, movement, breathe, respire, feeding. Means suppose growth, if you take growth as a one characteristic of living thing, depending on growth we can say this is the living thing and this is the non-living thing. How? For example, plant if you take, okay, if you sowed one seed, then the seed will sprout, then we will get plant. The plant day by day they will growth wise it will increase. One day it will become one big tree. Means here growth have from seed to plant tree, there is a certain growth levels, right? Stages have. The growth is one characteristic factor, we can differentiate the plant is a living thing. Suppose this marker, for example, if you take, this marker is a non-living thing. How will you say? How can you identify this is a non-living thing? Means if you see today, if you observe today's after 1 year, 3 years, more than 10 years also, the marker will be same size, same shape. Okay, this marker means there is no growth at all. Okay, so depending on some certain characteristics, we can differentiate, we can identify this is a living thing or this is a non-living thing. Okay, so next, method of food production in plant life cycle and different types of plants. Means if any living thing is there, living thing can feed. Okay, living thing will eat some food. So how it will get food? The plants, how the plant will get food? They will make their own food themselves or depending on other plant. That is the different types of plant. Different types of plants means here shrubs, herbs, trees, climbers, creepers, so many types of plants are there. Desert plants, water plant. So what is the mechanism will we can observe while method of food production. Okay, how the creepers can make their food. What is the method of food production? Life cycle means seed to tree. What are the stages have? How the seed will sprout. Then from that sprout we will get a small plant. Then big plant. Then day by day it will increase and become a one tree. How will the stages, life cycle. Okay, so we will discuss. We have to learn in this third topic. Next, classify animals based on their feeding habits. Classify animals. We have so many animals. Okay, cats, dogs, lions, means domestic, wild animals. So these are all. Some animals will eat only plants. Some animals will eat both plants and animals. Some animals will eat only animals. Means depending on other animals, depending on plants, depending on both animals and plants, we can differentiate. This is herbivore, eating only plants. This is carnivore, eating only animals. This is omnivore, eating both animals as well as plants. Like that. Depending on their food habits, we can differentiate. We can classify. These are the herbivores, these are the carnivores, these are the omnivores, like that. Next, importance of protection of plants and animals. If we day by day we are cutting plants and we are killing some animals, what will happen to our environment? Okay, so global warming. So how we have to protect, why, what is the need of protection of plants as well as animals? So these topics if you know, then we will go to our lesson living world. Understand? So for example, I will tell you one story. Okay, so one person, he is a very lazy person, but even though he owns some piece of land, but he has not worked a single day in his land. He always depending on others. What others will give as a food, he will eat, and he will become so lazy. So one day one person given fried groundnuts, because he likes fried groundnuts very much. So while he is eating those fried groundnuts, he got an idea. What is that idea? He thought, every day I am depending on others. If I am asking others, then they are giving some food to me. Why should I depend others like that? He thought, and he decided, I will sow. I have one land, so I will sow these seeds, and I will get a new plant. If I sowed these fried groundnuts, then I will get fried groundnuts. So there is no need to fry one more time. There is no cooking. Okay, he thought like that. And next day only he went to his land and he just sowed some seeds inside his land. While he is doing this work, all his neighbors were so happy. So at last, Somanna decided to do some work. Maybe he left his laziness like that, they thought. But what happened? He thought that I don't want to ask anyone. I will get fried groundnuts. There is no need to fry it. So how much lazy he was. So he just sowed some groundnuts, fried groundnuts in his land. So a few months later, he went and he observed. Surrounding his land, all new plants grown and all very greenery sight he observed. But in his land, there is no plant. There is no plant appeared in his land. What will happen? He sowed seeds. Seeds will sprout and give plants. But here, what will happen? He didn't get any plant, new plant. One plant also not appeared in his land. Here, what happened is the fried groundnut loses his growth factor. Okay, destroyed. That is, growth factor is destroyed inside a fried groundnut. Then there is no characteristic of growth in that fried groundnut. That's why fresh raw groundnuts have means if you sowed in any land, you can get a new plant. But here fried groundnut means already growth factor inside that fried groundnut destroyed, damaged. That's why he didn't get any new plant from that fried groundnut. Okay, so here growth is the one characteristic feature of a living thing. We can differentiate. It will grow, means the seed will give plant, means this is a living thing. Okay, understand? So these are some factors, means movement. For example, if you take movement is one characteristic feature. Okay, so depending on this movement, we can differentiate. This is the living, this is the non-living. So humans, we can walk. So humans are living things, right? So suppose this pencil or pen. Okay, pen can walk? No, can't, right? So this is the non-living, means depending on growth, feeding, food, movement, we can differentiate. This is the non-living and this is the living thing. So depending on those characteristics, some certain things which are surrounding us, which are around us in the environment, we can differentiate. This is the non-living, this is the living thing. Suppose parrot is a bird. So birds are living things, humans living things. Okay, chair is a non-living. There is no movement, no growth. Okay, book is a non-living thing. Like that we can differentiate. Understand? So this is the introduction class of today, your first lesson, living world. I will give some hard words according to this topic. Okay, thank you.